So how did you get this offer to come to the Maldives?
Actually, a guy called Hilal, he plays in a band called North Nigao. They are from the Maldives. He contacted me in 2009, I think, for the first time. They wanted to do a festival, but it fell through because it's obviously very difficult here to do shows because there is no setup for it, and no tradition as well. So none of the normal functions and things you need are in place, and the financing is very difficult too. So that fell through, but he got in touch with me again in the end of 2009 and said we would like to try again for 2010. We have a bit of change of government. It's been a democratic government for a short while, and it kind of fits the whole frame of mind that the Maldivian people have these days, and they've found better sponsors as well, stronger ones, and so I said, yeah, we do it. I have to say it was a lot of work for us as well. It was the single most intense workload I've had with one show. We play like 250 shows a year, and that was the toughest one I've done because, there is no tradition here, right? You have to explain everything from scratch and set up everything from scratch. But I think I just think it's, and we are self-managed. So obviously for us, if you approach us as a band, right? I manage Arch Enemy, and I do all the tour booking and everything. Yeah. So if you approach us, you talk to the band directly, and we want to make things happen because we as a band have a strong message out there, which is freedom of speech, revolution. And looking at the Maldives, it very much fits all these places, and it's also a bond between people. It's a like-mindedness. If you would have approached any other band with a management that's external, they just want to see money and they want to have an easy job. They say no. The band never hears about it. Yeah. Because it's one thing for us. It's great to have a free stay, but the money itself is not great. So when the management looks and it's like, well, that's 20% commission of that little money. We don't want to work for this. Not that much work. They always say no. So he got lucky with us. That's why it worked out, because we didn't really care about the money. It's for us more about seeing a new place and just connecting with metal fans here, right? And giving out a message and just putting a little flag on the map, which is now on the Maldives, saying we have played here.
So you have been here in the Maldives for 2 days now.
Yes.
So how do you feel to be here?
Yeah, it's kind of like a holiday. It's very relaxing. I'm sure the day of the show will be a lot more stressful than this. I don't think I can say this is the Maldives because this is obviously a very exclusive resort. I'm not victim to the illusion that this is the Maldives. I think the day we go into Mala and play the show, this is when I get to know the Maldives. Yeah. This is a rich people's place where we don't really belong, and everybody looks at us every day because we obviously walk around in black T-shirts and long hair and look very dangerous next to people with golden little mini skirts and high heels, So we're very rock and roll, but but this is not our scene here. This is a resort. But I think we're obviously going to go to Mala on the 23rd and connect with the fans there. And that's the day I can say I got to know the Maldives.
So what are your expectations for this show?
But I said there's going to be a lot of people coming, so that will be very interesting. I'm not sure because I'm not sure what kind of tradition people here have with metal shows. We've noticed that we went to another place that's exotic. It's Dubai, and people were a lot calmer because they were watching the show. You don't have the American style big circle pits, and people are they do the head banging and the fists pumping, but they also very much concentrate on the show because they don't have bands here a lot. From international places. Actually, I think we're the first extreme metal band, international one. So I think people will be very loud and maybe screaming and singing, but they will also be watching the show. And I think it's going to be very emotional because music connects on a level that you can't really reach with just speech. It's extremely emotional, and I think that's what's going to feel like for the people and for us as well.
Do you you think would be the opportunity for the growing music industry in the Maldives after the tsunami?
I just hope that they have a very positive experience here with the show. You know, I don't expect any violence, so I think it's going to be very positive. And that they will remember the things you need to do for a show, and that it will be easier for other bands to come. Yeah. A better setup and everything. And if that's the case, if somebody kind of sticks to this, I think you will see a lot more bands coming, you know. And by that, you're opening up as well, because then bands from the Maldives can go as well to other places. It's like a trade-off, right? It's just like basically popping up on the map of heavy metal, because so far nobody knows anything about Maldives and the heavy metal scene. But you know, just for when we're gonna go back, for example, I'm gonna write a long big blog, pictures, and talk about it, and a lot of people will read that. It will be picked up, and that's the first step. And you know, magazines will ask me interviews. So how was that? So that's the first step of promoting a new place. You know, that generates also more interest. So. I just hope it's going to start up for you guys. I hope not the wrong people take over again and then shut everything down, you know. I mean, you never know. But I hope not.
You are actually one of the few female metal singers who are actually famous quite. So how did you get interested in metal music actually?
Well, I'm obviously from Northern Europe, so heavy metal is a part of society there. It's still quite an underground thing, you know. It's not being picked up by the media, but we have festivals like Wacken, for example, and so it's around. You can get hold of it very rather easily. And when I started getting interested in music around 14 years old, I started listening to the radio, and there was a radio station actually from England, Great Britain, who was playing 2 hours of metal every Saturday night from 8 to 10 in the evening. And one day I just tuned in just by coincidence, right? And they were playing Pestilence, like they were covering extreme metal, Pestilence, and after that Protector, which is a old school death metal band from Germany, and then Slayer and Metallica. And I heard that sound. I only knew Queen and Black Sabbath up to then from my father's record collection. I liked it. But when I heard this music, I knew that was my music. It was just completely 100% communicating the way I felt. Like, it was very powerful and strong and I guess angry, but I felt in a good way. It gave me a lot of, felt very exciting. And it was so much impact, you know. So I tuned into this radio station every week, and I learned the band names, and I started writing them on my school bag, like Metallica and Slayer. And there was no internet back then. That was 1990. You know, that's a long time ago. And then some guy at school came up to me and said, "Hey, you listen to metal?" And I'm like, "Metal?" I didn't know that this was heavy metal. And I said, "Yeah, I like all these bands." He's like, "Yeah, I'm totally into this music too, and I got lots of vinyl. There was no CD back then either. And do you want to come over? And we're gonna have we're just gonna hang out with some friends, and we're just gonna listen to music." And that's how I really got into this. I was 15 then, and it's very innocent. I mean, I guess I was quite a tomboy. It's just all these guys, but they were all into metal, and I bought actually from one of these guys, because then the CD came out, and he bought everything on CD, and he gave me all these vinyls. And that's why nowadays I've got some really classic albums, very rare stuff, and I got like all the old, I got all the Slayer and Metallicas, and then fold-out symphonies of Sickness from Carcass, and I got this complete vinyl collection back then. And then I found some people who were looking for a singer in a band. It was a death metal band, and I just thought I want to sound like these singers, and I just tried out, and that's how I got into this. At 15, and my mom always said, "This is just a phase; it's gonna pass over." But it has been my life 100% since then. It's completely defined the way I think and the way I feel, and basically also my future, which I didn't know back then, obviously, But I've been in bands, in death metal bands, since I'm 15.